they came near me, I used to freeze up and I used to like
really
stuff like that.
No kidding.
And also like when he was crying and I was just like, because I didn't really have any help.
Right.
You have to understand. My parents were there, but it was me alone. I felt alone. Whenever he was crying, I'm like, can you
shut up?
Can you?
Yeah.
Like I looked at the window a few times.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
But obviously, after feeling that way, I would just walk away, or I would just hand him to my mom or my brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you please?
Yeah.
Just
but these are, these are just thoughts that come up, but you don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that people attach, especially people that are anxious and people that are worriers, attach some sort of a meaning to those thoughts and kind of like, oh shit, like how could I think that? There's something wrong with me.
Yeah, no, but they're normal.
Yeah.
They're normal thoughts. My mom was like, Maisha, it's normal.
Yeah,
Even before I had
okay.
him, he was like, it's okay to feel sad.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you're going to act on these thoughts,
yeah.
right? Yeah. I mean, there's lots of the crazy thoughts that I've had. There's lots of crazy thoughts that people have come on here and shared, right? But after a while, you start to laugh at them and realize, hey, those have no power over me.
They don't.
Yeah.
Exactly. And once you know that it is normal, it is natural to have those thoughts, to feel alone, to feel sad, then you can overcome that.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you feel better when you talk about it? Or was it hard to do that at first? Like, I mean, is this creating anxiety for you right now?
Kind of.
A little bit?
But it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I like when I'm feeling that, because I know what topics or what things make me anxious, and then I can deal with it.
Right. So if I say something that's triggering, then you know that, okay, well, that's something that obviously I felt my stomach drop. This is something that's a trigger for me.
Trigger for me, how can I deal with it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is being very self-aware.
Yes.
Which is a good thing. So you felt anxious and in depression before having Tommy, which is the name of your son.
Yeah.
And it was after you had him that you started feeling sort of would you say postpartum?
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. But did it like compound to the feelings that you'd had before?
Like it was just intensified. And you would think that it's intense before, but it was
right.
It was crazy.
Well, having a newborn son too. I mean, and he's a fucking fantastic little baby.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah, but imagine if you had what is it, colic that babies have?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been.
I would have gone nuts.
Yeah.
My mom said that I had colic, and she had a little depression as well.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how she dealt with it, but my son was amazing.
Yeah. He still is. He still is amazing.
Exactly. When I look at things and I look at different other people's kids and stuff, I'm like,
yeah,
you're cool.
He's cool. Cool. He is very cool.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising because I know that you can get kind of worked up and Chris can get kind of worked up.
Yeah, we're both very
I feel like Tommy's going to be the one that's like, Mom, Dad, just chill out, you know?
Like, don't tell me to chill. Go to your room.
Yeah. You'll understand when you have your own business one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So how is that going with Chris and yourself? Or is that like a loaded question?
How's it going?
Yeah. You guys are both doing, I mean, obviously you've had your ups and downs. You're a lot younger. I mean, not a lot younger, but younger.
Oh, 22 years younger.
22 years.
I like my old man.
Right. But he's been through, I mean, we did a podcast together and he's been through some pretty intense stuff with relationships, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to take him a little bit of time to open up to this idea of a potential forever, right, with someone. I think he's doing a pretty good job, but how do you feel? No?
No, you know what? He's accepted how he has been.
Yeah.
Because it was not all like butterflies and roses.
It never is in any relationship.
You know, and
though.
Sometimes I wonder, like, why did I stick around? Like, I deserve better. We are good friends.
Yeah.
We're good co-parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would never take him away from Tommy.
And that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Don't ever use your son as
Yeah. I would never do that. As you know, like, I always bring Tommy over to the salon. If a day or two goes by and Chris could not come and see him,
you'll go bring him to him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Exactly.
That's really sweet. And he loves Tommy so much. Just seeing him walk around like so proud.
Yeah,
right?
he's like all proud and he's like, this is my boy.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gonna be a heartbreaker. Yeah, for sure. So, well, I'm glad that it sounds like, I mean, I talked to Chris today. It sounds like you guys have sort of an idea of where the future is, which is good.
I guess. Yeah.
Potentially. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But how has it been sort of coping with the medication? Because Tommy's only a year old now, right?
Yeah.
So just within a year, would you say within a year, it's obviously like how long after you had Tommy did you start thinking about medication?
I thought probably 2 months after.
2 months?
Yeah.
And how has that been going? Like, are you still on medication?
No.
Okay.
So
tell me about that experience.
So when I went on medication, it took a few weeks to really kick in.
Yeah.
And then
most of them do.
Yeah, and then I realized that certain things that would trigger me, or certain things that would make me anxious or angry or happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling that way. I was just like, whatever.
So you started to feel numb. Yeah. What was the medication you were on?
At first I was on Zoloft.
Okay.
And then I went on Effexor.
Yep.
Yeah. So
how much? What was your dose of Effexor, if you don't mind me?
Effexor was probably the highest.
Really?
Yeah.
How long? Okay, so you started on. How long were you on Zoloft?
I was on Zoloft for probably 3-4 months.
3-4 months, mm-hmm. and then went to Effexor for how long?
How long? Probably almost a year.
Almost a year. And you decided that you wanted to come off that?
Yeah.
I've been on Effexor. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I decided because it just, when certain things would happen and I would not feel.
Yeah.
Like,
so you didn't feel joy.
Didn't feel joy. I would look at my son like, yeah, he's my son. I love him. But I didn't feel that love, that I feel now.
Right.
And even my mom was saying, you're not Maisha.
Right.
Maisha, you're a passionate person. You're fiery, and joyful. You're just like whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was one.
Did it take away your sadness though too?
Not really.
No. Okay.
No. It made me feel a little more sad, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the second thing is, I said, you know what? Medication is not for me. It's killing my brain cells. Like, I don't know. Like, I was doing research on it. And not saying that it's a bad thing. People that
need it. They need
it.
Yeah.
But I decided that I didn't want to. And I wanted to feel that raw emotion. Like, now I know what is triggering me from getting anxious. So let me deal with it. So whatever happens, I write it down. And I'm like, okay, how can I fix it? Because to me...
So you journal it?
Yeah, journal it. Okay. And to me, medication is just a Band-Aid. It's not going to fix the problems.
Yeah.
I want to know what the problems are that is making me feel that way and
try to fix them naturally and do your whatever you can. Use any tools that you can to naturally cope.
Exactly.
So that's interesting. How did you find getting off Effexor? Because I know that was a bitch for me when I was on it.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
I decided to go to Barbados for a few months and wean off there.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, but I didn't realize how much it affected me. I don't know, and affected some friendships because I was crazy.
Down there?
I felt crazy.
When you were trying to come off?
Yeah. Like, I was overthinking.
Yeah.
Like, everything wasn't, like... it was just ridiculous, and like I was told I was crazy.
Really?
I didn't know at that point, but sometimes I would be messaging someone and like these long fucking paragraphs,
novels,
because I'm like it's going on and on and on.
I've done that before.
Yeah, and when I look back at it now, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no,
I was nuts, and I felt that way. I felt depressed. I was over by my aunt, and I would be in that room with and I have a son there, and I'm just like,
just kind of feeling like shit.
And I was getting these brain zaps, and I could hear it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm like looking around. Can you hear?
I used to, like when I'd move my eyes, it used to be like I'd move from my like I'd be going from here to look over here.
Yeah.
And it sounded like someone was taking a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was shaky. Yeah. No, I remember. That was a tough one.
It was horrible. I did not like it. And what I had to tell myself was like, okay, tomorrow's another day. It's going to get a little better. It's going to get a little better. And now I can't even remember when it finally stopped.
Right. It just kind of went away and
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I have to deal with my shit.
Yeah, sure. Well, journaling is a good start. Did you decide to do that on your own?
I just decided to do it on my own.
So anytime that you feel an anxious episode or something, you write down what's happening beforehand?
Yeah, I try to think of what could it be. Sometimes I don't know.
Right.
Sometimes, and I have to like think really hard, like, what is it? Like,
right. Well, that's another thing too. You don't want to stress too much if you can't remember, because
Yeah.
that could be causing anxiety on its
Exactly.
own.
Yeah. So you're anxious upon being anxious.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's like compound interest, right?
Yeah,
Except for your fucking emotions.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, how are you coping with it now? Like, are you feeling better these days? You look fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am fine. I was thinking back, and I'm like, actually,
it's been a while since you had any.
It's been a while. I had it this past weekend. As you know, my son went to New York with my mom, and I didn't realize I was depressed until my roommate was like, are you okay?
Really?
You know?
Yeah.
So we went to Toronto so I can take my mind off of it.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, cool, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm like quiet.
Really?
And it wasn't like I was sad and I missed him. It was just like gut wrenching, like, you know, I felt like throwing up kind of. Yeah. I was depressed. So
yeah.
Like,
was it a feeling of, I mean, they describe anxiety coming on as sometimes like a feeling of impending doom. Mm-hmm. So it's just like something bad's going to happen.
Yeah, and I felt lost, and I felt like he was gone. And he's not mine anymore. Like,
really?
Yeah, like it was just a whole bunch of thoughts going on.
So your mind was playing tricks on you.
It was, and like whenever my mom wouldn't update on what they were doing, it was just like this.
It was triggering?
It was triggering.
Really?
So I talked to her and I said, you know, and I thought about it. So I think about things first before I like go on these spiels.
Sure. Well, that's always a good thing to do, because I know I didn't when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then I look back like, oh my God, I was a fucking idiot.
So now, like, I talked to her and I said to her, you know, I don't want it to be this way. I don't want that he's the sole purpose of my happiness. Right. That's not fair on him.
Right.
That's a lot to put on a child's shoulders.
100%.
Yeah. So I don't want to be one of those moms that as soon as they move out, like, my life is over kind of thing, because that's how I felt. I felt that my life was over.
Even though he was just going away for the weekend.
Yeah.
Really?
It was. So I think that he was the sole purpose of my happiness. He was the reason I got up in the morning. He was the reason why I ate. He was the reason why I took a shower. He was the reason why I did things. I went outside and took him to the park because it was him. Now, all of a sudden, like...
Really? So maybe you just...
Anymore.
Yeah, so maybe you just... I mean, it sounds like to me you have a really big heart. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like you need to be doing something for someone else in order for you to do the things that you need to do, almost.
Right. So then I realized that and I explained that to her, my mom, and my mom was like, exactly. So on Monday, the day before he came, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to have breakfast by myself. Yeah. That was the first time in a long time that I did something by myself.
Right.
And
good for you.
Yeah.
Are you giving yourself small rewards? Because when you're coming out of something like this, speaking from my own personal experience with anxiety and depression, you beat yourself up so much, and you're very hard on yourself, and you kind of have to start reprogramming your mind to giving yourself positive things. So when you're depressed or when you're feeling anxious, sometimes it's hard just to walk downstairs, right? Or to even think about opening the blinds.
Yes.
The little things, but every time that you do a little thing and break it down into baby steps, are you complimenting yourself? Because those are things that you need to start to do, because eventually your mind will automatically, and it'll just completely blow into everything. So now you're doing things automatically and your mind's just filled with all this positive thought because you've already programmed it to pat yourself on the back every time you do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, I know how it is. It can be hard just getting up and going for a shower. A shower seems like a lot of work. Sometimes even drinking water seems like too far. Like, this is what you need to survive.
Yeah.
But the best thing that you can do is obviously take care of yourself, and that will be the best thing for him.
Yes, and that is true. And that is something that I am learning. And I did pat myself, like, I was proud of myself on Monday.
Good.
I was so happy. The night before, I decided, okay, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So I woke up at 5:30. I could not go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Got ready. I walked all the way from 2nd Street to the YMCA.
Good for you.
And then I did a workout, and I went to campus Wi-Fi, and I had breakfast. And I was like, okay. And I need to do those things for myself.
Yeah,
I need to...
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I think you're doing great, and I want you to know that you need to just... A lot of people don't understand what it's like. I do. Mm-hmm. So in order to continue to move forward, just be proud of yourself and don't be afraid to be like, just because, don't compare yourself to other people. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
But you need to make sure that you're patting yourself on the back and keep rewarding yourself for doing these things that at one point in time